webinar. So I'm over here. I don't know why. I like to make an entrance. I thought it would be a fun gimmick to begin off screen. But now I can't stop thinking about how ironic it would be if I'm too nervous to come on camera and deliver a webinar about beating camera shyness, and I have to do the whole thing from over here. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. But while the last people shuffle in, please make yourself comfortable and explore my webinar room. You should find a chat box, which you can pop questions and comments in anytime you like. And some of you already have, which is fantastic. You'll also find snacks as long as you brought them with you. There's polls and an area for handouts as well. Hello, Jen. And we'll be getting to them later. So when I was a teacher, I was told to always have an activity ready for troublesome and unruly groups as they came in the door. And having seen the names on today's webinar, I decided that would be a good idea. So there is a poll waiting for you, which will give us a good idea of how we're all feeling about making videos. Don't worry, it's anonymous. If you can have a look at that, you should find a button that says polls, and it says, what is the main reason you don't film more videos? And the options are, you don't have enough time, which I think might be popular. I don't know how. I feel self-conscious about my appearance or my voice. I'm not convinced it's worth it, because a lot of people to me say, I don't know why you spend so much time making videos. Surely you have better things to do. Or other, in which case put it in the chat. Go ahead, complete that poll for me, and we will start in about 10 seconds. This is exciting. If someone's coming in now because you're 2 minutes late, then this is a stern lesson about arriving places on time, because I've just explained why I'm over here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please get ready to beat camera shyness and welcome to your screens, live from his broom cupboard. And hopefully you'll find him more likable than the last man to broadcast from a broom cupboard. Please welcome to your screen. That was Philip Schofield, by the way. Please welcome to your screens. I probably shouldn't have begun the webinar by comparing myself to Philip Schofield. But anyway, please welcome to your screens. Can we not make this the focal point of our LinkedIn posts afterwards? He began by comparing himself to Philip Schofield. Anyway, please welcome to your screens a man with all the energy of someone whose children woke him up last night at 11, 12:30, 1:30, and 3. It's me! Hooray! Well, that was fun. Can't believe it. There's people out there. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's a real honor that you're actually taking the time to be with me on a Wednesday afternoon. So let's have a quick look at this poll. How are we looking? 56% I feel self-conscious about how I look or sound. And then quickly followed by I don't have time. Well, I'm really happy to see that 0% is I'm not convinced it's worth it. So I don't have to bother with that. But these are all obviously really common reasons why people are deterred from filming video. And I hope that over the next 27 minutes or so, I'll be able to dispel most of these concerns from your mind. Anyway, cheers. Hope this is helpful to you. I'm going to have good fun, and I hope you do too. So I want to start off with this point here. Now, I appreciate that a strange man standing in his own house on his own with a slide which simply says, "You are not scared," is maybe a little bit weird. But you're not scared. You're not scared of appearing on camera. If you think you're scared, you're either mistaken or a liar. Step one of doing a webinar: alienate your audience by calling them liars. Scared is being chased by a bear. Scared is standing on the edge of a cliff. Scared is having to be rescued at go 8 because you can't let go of the tree and I don't want to talk about it. Scared is being worried, concerned for your own existence, well-being, and life in general. Appearing on camera is not scary. It's uncomfortable and it's unnatural because we don't do it very often. This, for me, this is a new environment. I stand around every single day recording stuff on my mobile phone, and that feels natural to me now. But my heart is thumping. I am worried. This feels uncomfortable. This feels unnatural. but I'm not scared. So let's just reconfigure that from minute one, please. We're not scared of appearing on camera. It's uncomfortable and it's unnatural, and we need to normalize it so it becomes more natural to us. So before we go on and have a look at that in a little bit more depth, a little bit of housekeeping, because I think you're meant to do this at the start of events, aren't you? Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. This is the first one of these I've done. In case you can't tell, it might be a little bit chaotic, but who cares? So a little bit of housekeeping. If there's a fire, head for the nearest exit and take your laptop, because we'll continue in the car park. It's great that people have found the chat. Hello to everyone. And please do use that either to heckle, comment, or obviously ask questions. I'll hopefully allow time at the end for questions, but I'll try and spot them as we go through as well. Please do use this time. I'm hoping this is going to be fast and furious, a little bit frenetic. I don't want it to be longer than 30 minutes because I've seen who's on this webinar. This is crazy. What are all you people doing here? You're like industry superstars. You don't need to be here, but you're very welcome. Yes, Jen, 30 minutes. Claire, you can come again. 30 minutes and no more, because I know you need to get back to work. The idea with these webinars is I'm doing them 3 o'clock, last Wednesday of the month, generally speaking. And they won't always be on video, but we will come back to it. But they're going to be really punchy sessions. This is not intended to be a video tutorial. I don't really intend today to get onto the mechanics and nuts and bolts of making videos. The intention today is to get you in front of the camera, feeling confident and feeling a bit more natural than you did at the start. So that is what I want to do today. This is a really hard skill, talking and reading the comments. Thanks, Louise. I really appreciate you guys being open and telling me about how you feel about doing this. So if you don't know me, then you're probably wondering what the hell you have accidentally tuned into. My name is Toby. I'm a letting agent turned consultant and trainer. My specialist areas are lettings, social media, and video. I've spent much of the last few years being a Wally on video, and I found that it actually works very well with your audience. It's a great way to connect with people, and I'm really passionate about helping other people to do it because it is a really undervalued and unexplored business tool. I say unexplored. There's some people, including people on this call, who are doing it wonderfully well, and you keep it up. But I would love to help more people do that. So now I've been to conferences. I've seen proper speakers talk. One day, maybe I'll be a proper speaker. And I know that the best speakers help you to remember what they're teaching you through clever, helpful things such as mnemonics. So I thought I should have a mnemonic. And when I wrote the titles for the various sections that we're going to go through, I was delighted to see that it spelt the word spur. That's my favorite part of the whole webinar. I was really pleased with that when I came up with it. It's downhill from here. So if you take one thing away from this webinar, it is the mnemonic spur. So let's crack on with our first C. You can probably tell how much I enjoyed that. Okay. The first C is to commit. Because I hate to tell you this, but if you dip your toe and if you dabble in this, it's not really going to happen. In order to make a real success of video and anything really, we're talking here, you have to commit with a proper plan that you then follow through on. And so the first thing I'd like us to do, especially if you're somebody who doesn't currently post any videos at all, is to circle a date in your diary. And on that date, you are going to post your first video on your preferred social media channel. I'd say that would be 2 to 4 weeks in the future, depending on how confident you feel. So if you're starting from scratch, jot that down right now that you are going to pick a date, 2 to 4 weeks time. And on that date, you will. Tomorrow. Fantastic, Caroline. Well done. Okay. To help you commit, I just want to spend a couple of minutes. I wasn't really going to spend very long talking about why you should do this because, hey, you're booked on a webinar called Beat Camera Shyness. I'm guessing that you've already accepted the need to do video as well. And nonetheless, just to help with that commitment, that little bit of persuasion that maybe you need, I am going to very quickly look at why I believe you should do this. So, you're speed dating, okay? You've gone speed dating. You're in a long room and there's a line of tables down the middle and you're sat on one side of it. And if you look to your left and your right, you can see that sitting on the same side of all the tables as you are your fellow property professionals, your competitors, the competition. They're all lined up, same side of the table as you. And any moment, the door's going to open and a bunch of prospective clients are going to walk through that door and sit on the other side of the table as you. And you've got 1 or 2 minutes to make an impression, to leave a mark on the person speaking to you. And they're, at the end of that session, going to decide who to come back with and speak to further, maybe do business with. What are you going to say to them? How are you going to make an impression? But hang on. As the clients come and sit down, you look around you and you see that your competitors, all they're doing is silently sliding across the table a sheaf of paper with photographs of their latest listings. And there's another person down there who has just handed silently a bundle of Google reviews over to a prospective client. Now, a couple of things about this. First of all, you need to seriously question your life choices. This speed dating scenario sounds weird and unhealthy. You should leave immediately. But this is real life. The first thing that people do when they're trying to find an agent is they look them up on Google, they find their social media feeds, they find their website, and they spend 1 or 2 minutes speed dating that client online, that agent online even. And now, I know that I think at the minute there's a bit of a maybe macho kind of thing going on. You talk to a lot of business owners, they say, I don't look at my competition. I don't look at my competition. I'm not interested. All I'm interested in is me. And I get that. But hey, look at your competition. Not for inspiration, but look how similar they all are. Look at their social media feeds. It is highly likely that the other agents in your town have identical social media feeds that include property listings, the odd Google review, and some kind of desperate plea saying, we need more landlords. And what there will not be is faces and people and personalities. And that is what connects with your audience. That is what connects with your audience. Come back to the speed dating room and you're going to want to speak to that client. So you've got an opportunity to do that. And it's called marketing and it's called social media. You can speak to your clients directly. So that is one reason why. There's a couple of stats that I like to use. And one is that this is based on US research, but hey, I'm sure we're relatively similar. Some US research, quite a major bit of research, suggested that 70% of the decision-making journey has already been completed by your client before you meet them for a market appraisal, for a sales appointment. Through self-service research, through social media, through Googling you, your website, they have already made 70% of their decision. So people are out there looking for you. And give them what they're looking for. They're looking for you. They're not looking for your listings. They're looking for your personality. So I love how I brashly said at the start, there's going to be no more than 30 minutes. And I've just looked at the time and whoa. And very quickly here, just to give you an idea of the importance that social media channels are placing on video. This is video share of daily social network time. So again, this is from the US, but I'm sure we're similar. So the red block there is the amount of time people spend watching videos on social media feeds, and the gray blocks is what they spend, the amount of time they spend looking at other things. As you can see, between 2019 and 2025, it has almost doubled. People are spending nearly twice as much time watching videos as they used to. So Let's move on, because we all accept and understand that video is the way to go. But what comes next? Our second K, if you remember. So this is not revolutionary, and anyone who you hear speak about video will talk about consistency. And it's important when you're posting, but it's also important when you're trying to build confidence and capability. Now, this also this also feeds into that issue of self-consciousness that a lot of people responded about on the poll. And again, that feeling of hating the way you hear, I heard someone say that, hating the way you look. Again, I bring it back to that factor of this feeling unnatural. This is not something you're accustomed to doing. So it's going to feel weird. It's going to look weird. It's going to hear weird. Hey, I've got news for you. If you put your head in a bucket, you'll sound weird. But you don't walk around saying that you're scared of putting your head in buckets. So this is just the same. You just need to get used to it. And the way that you get used to it is through repetition and consistency. So if I can do it, you can do it too. When I started recording videos, I hated the way that I sounded. Still don't particularly like it. Posh is normally the one that I get, or from one client one time, you sound like Darren Brown. Maybe I should try mind control. I don't know. The way that I look, I don't like that either. I've got some goofy big teeth, I've got a big nose, and I've got a weird wonky face thing going on. But do you know what? Nobody analyzes the way that you look and sound like you do. You are the only person thinking in that way. And the only way you're going to get past that is by consistently recording video and getting accustomed to that experience, which at the moment feels alien to you. So here are some ways to do it. And to be honest, this is probably the most important part of this whole thing. So I'm going to cover 3 ways to build that consistency, to get over self-consciousness and make this feel more familiar and natural. What we're trying to do is we're trying to normalize that sensation. So number 1, if you're on your own, if you're doing this completely alone and it is your personal target to beat camera shyness, simply record a daily video diary. Really simple. Just commit, same time every day, 8 a.m., 8 p.m., whenever it is, 3 a.m. Daily video diary. Just say what you did that day. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to be interesting, because you're not going to show it to anybody else. It's just for you. So just grab your phone and say, well, do you know what? Today was a bit of a rubbish day, and here's why. Or today was a great day, hopefully. And you're just going to do that every day. And believe me, the repetition of doing that, by the time you've done that 20, 30 times, do you really think the 30th time is going to be the same as the first? So commit to that. That's if you're doing it on your own. Number 2, even better, do it as part of a group. If you know somebody else or a couple of other people who want to do this, then form a WhatsApp group. Now, this is quite a fun idea. I really like the idea of doing this. And actually, I did think about setting up a WhatsApp group for this call. And then I thought, hang on, if people are trying to get used to video, maybe they don't want to be put in a video group with strangers. But if anyone likes the idea of this, then put it in the comments and I'll set up the WhatsApp group afterwards. So what this is, you're going to set up a WhatsApp group, and there's one rule. The one rule is no text messages. No text messages in that group. You are only allowed to post video. And you take it in turns to nominate somebody each day. And that person is going to set a question for the day. Now, that could be a really businessy academic question like, tell me one brilliant time management hack that saves you time every single day. Or it could be, who was the best band in the 90s and what was their best song? Pulp, Babies. And everybody in the group has to post their response to that video that day. So at the end of the day, if you really want, the person who set that question can then send their own video nominating a winner. Every single day, different question. What's the best pizza topping? And have an argument about pineapples. Is Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit? It's a biscuit. And this is why I do webinars, because nobody can argue back with me. I've been wanting to say all my life that Jaffa Cake is a biscuit and not have anyone argue back. So that's idea number 2. Lots of enthusiasm for that. Thank you so much. Well, what I will do is I'll set up that WhatsApp group and I'll send an email link around and we'll get cracking tomorrow. Number 3 is really aimed at people who are managing or involved with the management of a business. And this is such a big opportunity for you. What we're talking about here is culture. It's not really accepted in our culture as a normal thing to do, to stand around filming yourself on video. A lot of people go, what a prima donna. What are they doing filming themselves again? So everything that we're trying to do here is normalizing filming yourself on camera and just making it more acceptable. So if you run a company, you have the opportunity to set that standard within your company. If you properly embrace video and embrace the culture of video, then that filters down, it trickles down to everyone within your company. So for example, internal announcements. I'm guessing that currently an email gets sent around. Or maybe a Slack message or a WhatsApp message. Well, what if that Slack message was a video instead of a text message? You can normalize this by leading from the front and demonstrating that within this company, we communicate by video. And that will then slowly ingrain itself into your business. So be consistent from the top and it will trickle down. So those are 3 options to build consistency, record video every day. And like I said, within 2 to 4 weeks, if you've never posted a video before, you will feel a lot more natural doing it than you do today. So pick one of those and commit to it. Let's move on because I've only got 8 minutes. I think I'm going to do it. It's fine. It's fine, everyone. Okay. So we're talking about normalizing things, making them feel more natural. Of course, what we're talking about is your comfort zone. And this is not mine, but I thought this was a really good diagram that illustrates what we're talking about very well. Outside of your comfort zone is the fear zone. I mean, this sounds like a really weird version of the crystal maze. So the fear zone, you have to burst through the fear zone to come out the other side and go to the learning zone, the growth zone, and then you go to the crystal dome and you grab as many banknotes as you can, depending on how many crystals. Anyway, things exist outside of our comfort zone, and it is scary to embrace them. Now, as you can see here, there's a range. Not everything that's outside of your comfort zone is in the same position. It might be just outside your comfort zone, or it might be way outside your comfort zone. So this ties into a tip which I personally do myself every time I film. So we're kind of going more now from convincing yourself and getting ready to film to actually preparing to film on the day. When you've set your camera up on a tripod and you're about to hit record, how do you feel more comfortable in that moment? Well, with all this talk of comfort zones, what I find helps is going further outside your comfort zone. So speaking on camera, this is your comfort zone, high-tech illustration, and speaking on camera is probably here, okay? Do something here. You can lock the door. You can put the curtains down. You can pull the blinds, other way around. Pull the blinds, put the curtains down. No, whatever. And no one has to see this, but goof around. That is the technical term, goofing around. Do something more extreme every time before I start filming. And I'm about to lose all professional respect that I had, if I had any at the start of this call, because I'm about to demonstrate goofing around. So, shout. Shout your script. If you've got a script, shout, "Here is the market update for Bath!" Do dances. Dance around the room. Do funny walks. Do John Cleese walks. I always find myself talking in a Mr. Bean voice. Or sing about the property market. And the reason why we are doing this weird behavior is that when you stop and you come back to act normally on camera, that suddenly feels more comfortable because you're not doing the things that are even further outside your comfort zone of a few minutes ago. And I can see Michelle saying that that's something you struggle with, and I can understand that because it feels unnatural. And that's the point. When you do it, it's a relief to come back to speaking normally again. And you can actually speak on camera with more confidence because you're relieved that you're no longer singing on camera. So do embrace your inner goof before you start recording. You don't have to share that with anyone, but if you do decide to record it, it will make for a great video. So push the limits of your comfort zone and then come back towards something that is more comfortable for you. Okay, we're at the s part now in my mnemonic of spur. I need to find an inner goof. Michelle, you've got an inner goof. You just need to let it fly, release it. Just now, just right now. Okay, I love this idea. We're all around the country, dispersed in our various rooms. Just right now, I would love everybody to say the word badger, badger, in a funny voice. Badger. Did anyone actually do it? There. That's goofing around. Okay. Now, next time, say badger 100 times. Thank you, Naomi. Say badger 100 times in 100 different silly voices and then record your video. Also, that releases adrenaline, you know. You're running around the room, you're doing silly, wacky things. It's releasing adrenaline, but by the time you start recording your video, you're amped up and you're ready to go. Whoa, 3 minutes. Okay, let's go. Set up for success. Okay, what I mean by this is, again, coming back to that idea of not liking, not being comfortable with the sight or sound of yourself on camera. Set yourself up for success. If you don't actually have a quality looking video, then of course you're not going to like how you look or sound. So give yourself a chance. Invest in decent microphones. Have good sound. Flaky sound is the worst thing. If I see a video and it doesn't sound any good, then I'm scrolling straight on. Invest in lighting. You know, you can get these on Amazon for 20 or 30 quid a pair. So avoid harsh overhead lighting, shadows, big nose, not a good combination. You want bright lighting from in front of you. So invest in things that are going to make you look and sound as good as you can. One thing I forgot to mention about recording a daily video diary or the WhatsApp idea, really important thing. Always watch it back. Always watch it back. I know you don't want to. I know right now you're all going, I'm not going to do that. No, that gives me the ick. Always watch your video back. Even if you hate it. Carolina, watch your video back. Because that is making you, if you watch your video back every single day for the next 2 weeks, then again, after the 14th time, you're going to feel more comfortable watching that video than you did on day one. No, you're all saying no. Della, that is fine. Watch it back and pick a fault. That is what I do. Okay, I'm going to sound like a horrific egomaniac here. Some of my videos I watch back about 20 times. I like them. And the reason for that is I pick up on mannerisms. I pick up on patterns of speech that I don't like or that I do like. And then I either cut those out or I make sure I do them next time. I've realized recently I like standing with my hands in my pockets. So I do that more. I've realized I quite like scratching my head. So I do that more. Always watch your videos back. It is part of the process of normalizing this whole thing and reducing the kind of the pedestal that we've put videos on. Just making it a daily process, a regular thing. It is 3:29. Let's crack on. Yes, Daniel, laugh at yourself. Absolutely, why not? Okay, we've got 2 more letters. We're going to be a couple of minutes late. Please forgive me. Plan. Don't make it up as you go along. So many people come into the office and think, what shall I film today? It's not the way to do it. You're not setting yourself up for success. Work off a plan. Sit down and write videos, just the titles of them for the next week, month is preferable. If you struggle with this, if you struggle with inspiration, then FAQs is the place to start. The exercise that I do with every single team. Break your team into 4 categories: landlords, tenants, vendors, buyers. Tell each group they have to write 25 questions that they get asked frequently by that category of individual. They can do that easily. 25 questions, simple questions, complex questions, any question. You've just written yourself 100 titles of videos. That is a year's worth, putting them out 2 a week. Then record 8 a month. Just block off 2 hours, one morning a month, record 8 FAQs. You can do that. These are questions that you know off by heart. And there you go. There is your plan for the month ahead. And try to relax. I know that you find this stressful. I know that it induces anxiety, but find a way to relax. Stand or sit. Those are the 2 options. There's none others. I like to stand. I find it more natural because you want to feel natural. Sitting, I think, where do I put my hands? Should I cross my legs? Should I slump? Should I sit bolt upright? I just like to stand. Then, before you hit record, breathe. Put your arms by your side. Hit record. And then this is the one thing that nobody does. Smile. Smiling it creates a fantastic first impression. So many people are serious when they record their videos because we want to be taken seriously, and we're serious business people who are very serious about the business that we are business people in. Well, actually, we want to make connections. We want to come across as personable and likable people. So smile, count to 3. And what happens is, as you count to 3, your smile just fades a little bit because you don't want to look like this when you start recording. So count to 3 and then start to speak. And hey, smiling releases endorphins. You've got dopamine, serotonin. It's making you feel more relaxed. It's making you feel more positive. So always smile, count to 3, and then start to speak. I cannot believe that an hour has just... an hour? Who am I kidding? We could go on for an hour. Half an hour has just whistled by like that. I hope that there's been some helpful things in there for you. I am so grateful to you for being here. I've had a lot of fun. I think you've probably been able to tell. This is a QR code. You can find my mailing list, future events, future webinars. If you would like to do anything to help me, feel free to post about this webinar. If you know me, you'll know that this line of work for me is in its infancy, so do support me. Feel free to write to your local membership organization, suggest that I speak at their conferences. But otherwise, the handout. If you go to the tab, I'll email this around as well. There's a handouts tab. You can now download a handout which summarizes everything that we've been through. Thank you everyone for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.